You're watching Dolphins Today. Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, ready to go through the latest news and rumors around the Miami Dolphins. And you probably see me doing this with my hands. Why? Because what we got going on today is some pretty juicy stuff. Now, last week, Brian Flores was let go by the Miami Dolphins, and a lot of people, me included, were pretty surprised by the news. And now, what if we actually have the truth behind why the Dolphins decided to move on from Flores? So the report is right now is this. Flores wanted Miami to go ahead and trade for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, that's an issue inside the organization because Miami invested a number 5 overall pick in Tua Tagovailoa. Now, owner Stephen Ross, he wanted them to stick with Tua. Then Tua enters the offseason now as the starting quarterback. Why? The team decides to move on from Flores. Ross lays down his foot, which to me sounds like this. Whoever's going to be that next head coach for Miami, you better make Tua your main focal point because they've already shown, even if you finish off the season strong, even if you have a year before, like when you went 10-6 in 2020, they can decide to move on from you. Now, when you keep digging, and I've done a lot of digging here around this story, it's starting to turn up that maybe Flores didn't like Tua's work ethic. And for those of you that do not know a lot of Flores' background, comes from that Belichick tree. Flores was always talked about being just one of these gym rats, dude, that just first guy there, last guy to leave type of mentality. And it's starting to pop up when you look at more of these reports that guess what? That just simply wasn't Tua. Now, Flores also was very vocal about the fact that he didn't like the way that Tua spent his off days. Now, I'm not going to tell certain people how to spend your off days here and there, but I will say this. If my head coach came up to me and was like, you know what? I don't think you should be golfing on your off days. I want you to spend more time getting acclimated to the NFL, especially when you look at some of his injuries, especially when you look at his up and down play. And, well, at one point this season, Miami was 1-7. Now, when you go through and you look at some even more reports floating around here, you got Armando Salguero on Flores, and this is one of the more, I'll say, respected beat writers when you talk to a lot of people around the Miami Dolphins. And this is actually something that he went ahead and said in a recent article. At one point in the 2021 season, he told people, so that's Brian Flores, told people within the organization, we'll never win a championship with this guy, and he was referring to Tua Tagovailoa. So what do you guys think here? Because this is what, Chat Sports likes to do, and I want you guys to interact with me. So I want you to type Y for yes or type N for no. Can Miami win a title with Tua Tagovailoa? Now, hopefully you guys went ahead and answered that question there. While you're down in there, if you could also hit that big red button that says subscribe, because the way that all of our channels work here at Chat Sports is the more subs we get, the more videos, the more content we're able to provide for y'all. Also, we're getting really close to 20,000 subs. It's an amazing accomplishment. You guys would be only, I believe, the 6th channel in Chat Sports history to hit 20K. So if you take time out of your day and hit that sub button, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, let's keep on rolling here with some more news, some more rumors here around the Dolphins and around Brian Flores. For anybody out there that was like, you know what, man, that rumor about Flores wanting Watson, that's BS. Well, I hate to break it to you. It's starting to pop up more and more, and I always say, where there is smoke, there's a lot of fire. And now the latest report is that the Giants, they could be interested in going out and getting Flores as their next head coach. Heck, when you look at the most recent odds of who's the most likely guy to be the next head coach of the Texans, it's Brian Flores. Why? There's a lot of NFL executives, a lot of people starting to talk that Flores and Watson had a very good relationship. And a lot of the belief is this, where Brian Flores goes, Deshaun Watson could follow. Heck, you could even see a scenario where Flores gets hired by the Giants, Deshaun Watson goes to the Giants. I mean, Watson's been working out in New York a ton this entire time that this whole, speculation and everything's been going on. Now, obviously, Watson himself still faces 22 allegations, which still needs to be sorted out, obviously. But if NFL teams are willing to go out and hire Flores, if that means, hey, you're also going to get Watson, I'm telling you guys right now, these rumors, it really, truly sounds like this. Brian Flores wanted Deshaun Watson in a trade. Stephen Ross said, no, that's not going to happen. And then he said, you're going to stick with Tua. Brian Flores didn't like it, and Stephen Ross said, okay, you're out the door. So basically, Ross kept Tua instead of keeping Brian Flores. So now here's my question. After hearing that rumor, if everything is true, that Flores wanted Watson, that's why it was such a surprise firing, did Miami make the right choice? Did they make the right choice by deciding to move on from Flores? I want you to type R for right, or I want you to go ahead and type W for wrong. Now, maybe you're bad at betting, and once in a while you make the wrong choice on what you need to bet with, right? I mean, it all happens to literally everyone. Like, if you get 6 out of 10 bets right, you're doing really freaking good. Now, luckily for you, if you want to bet on the NFL playoffs, if you want to bet on who's going to be the next head coach here for Miami, you can go ahead and do so by going to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Dolphins125. The reason why the 125% deposit bonus is so clutch is because betting is hard. You can put down $100, get $125 for free to bet with. So, like, let's just say you're struggling, you're new to betting, and you're just trying to get your feet wet. That's what that 125% deposit bonus helps you do. It helps you get your feet wet. It helps you figure out what you need to do. So go ahead, bet on some NFL playoff games. It makes it a lot of fun. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125. Miami Dolphins news here on Dolphins Today. Mitchell Wren's breaking it all down for you. Now, obviously, Brian Flores was let go, which means the next thing that this Dolphins team needs to do is they need to go ahead and they need to try to figure out who is going to be the next head coach for Miami. And the Dolphins have 2 interviews on Sunday. 2 of them both actually from the exact same team. The first one is actually around Leslie Frazier, who, for those of you that do not know, Leslie Frazier is the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. And right now, Buffalo has one of the better defenses, if not the best defense statistically in the National Football League. And I do kind of find this funny there. The day after Buffalo goes ahead and they blow out the New England Patriots in that playoff game, 47-17, Miami's like, all right, we're going to pick up the phone. We're going to give Leslie Frazier a call. Now, Frazier has done wonders personally with the defense this season for Buffalo. Here's the issue, though, and I really think that the NFL and some people need to realize that there are some people that are built to be coordinators, and there are some people that are built to be head coaches. I love Leslie Frazier as the DC. I would not like him as a head coach because go back and look at what happened when he was with the Minnesota Vikings from 2011 to 2013. It was not a very good scenario. And on top of that, if I have a young quarterback like Tua, I personally want to try to build a offensive-minded guy around him, not so much a defensive-minded guy, because Leslie has not had too much success with younger quarterbacks. So I want you guys to be the judge here. If Miami went out and hired Leslie Frazier, what would you grade it? A, B, C, D, or F? A, you love the hire. B, it was good. C, it was D, it was bad. Or F, for failing. As much as I respect Leslie Frazier, I personally don't see the Miami going in this direction. And if they were to go ahead and hire him as a head coach, I'd go ahead and give it a D grade. Now, let's go to another person here where we're talking about Brian Daboll, so the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. And Daboll's been a person that's actually popped up here a few times on this show. Daboll, he did a great job with Josh Allen. If I'm going to try to sell you, if I was Daboll and I'm going to try to sell myself, I would say, hey, man, I turned Josh Allen into a top 5 quarterback. Can you at least give me the shot with Tua Tagovailoa? He won NFL Assistant of the Year, and I know I always say this on the show, but when you're working underneath guys like Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, I personally respect those 2 guys. I don't know about you, and I would respect their ability to go ahead and win football games. And on top of all of this, the Dolphins have already gone ahead and showed that they're not afraid to go ahead and try to cherry pick somebody from their own division. The news around this was this. Miami, they are interviewing Leslie Frazier. They're interviewing Brian Daboll. Now, let's just say the Dolphins go out and they hire Daboll. How would you rate it from a scale from 0 to 100? 0 being you hate it, 100 being it's an absolute slam dunk. I'm probably somewhere around a 93, 95 because I do respect Brian Daboll. If for all the NFL teams out there, if I was going to go out and hire a guy, Daboll is in my top 5 in literally every single category. But you guys go ahead, let me know down in the comments. If Miami hired Daboll, how would you rate it?